We started back during the Valley Fire in Lake County.
Experts call it a monstrous fire of historic proportions, a stunning number of homes lost in the Valley Fire.
I think we've had 8 fires in the last 3 years. In Mendocino, we've had 2 very large fires as well.
Redwood Valley Fire, the Potter Fire, ripped through a huge chunk of Mendocino County east of Highway 101.
The windows were open and all of a sudden dust was flying in my house, and it was like this amazingly strong wind. And my niece called about a half hour later as I was in bed, and she said, "You have to get out of the house now. You have the fires almost at your house."
And tonight, the focus has shifted to Lake County, where the ranch and the river fires are threatening towns on the western edge of Clear Lake.
Well over 60% of the landmass has been burned in Lake County, and the fires have affected every single person.
All of the people that up here have such tragic stories, it's hard for us to imagine what it would be like to experience like the fire that went through here and the terror.
Everything like a hell. We fire all over, we boom, boom, boom.
I didn't have the money to build a home. And I certainly didn't have hundreds of volunteers.
We really look at what are the resources, how do we put this together, and how do people rebuild again? And that's really our goal, is to get people back home.
North Coast Opportunities and Hope City are part of Team Lake County, and that is the long-term recovery group for here in Lake County that's been in operation. They came together following the Valley Fire to plan out long-term recovery.
When our program comes alongside a family, we have this enormous opportunity to help them to restore a life that they counted all things lost.
Well, my primary living situation since the fires have been in a 33-foot RV. It's been really awesome, the whole process.
Every time a fire starts, that trauma is re-triggered, and it makes it extremely hard for people to be able to cope. And it just compounds.
Volunteers have been awesome. They've been really healing for me, and healing for Molly too.
Part of what we've done is be able to work really closely with partners, and some of those partners have been critical in the success of being able to put these houses, rebuild these houses, because it takes many, many people, and a lot of people you never even see.
Before we even had the name Mendocino Rock, when it was just a group of people in the room trying to figure out how we were going to approach recovery, our focus was long-term housing for people that had lost their homes. We relied heavily on our case managers, who took the time immediately after the Redwood Complex fire to reach out to all 406 households that lost their homes in the fire to determine what their needs were. And then they would bring that information back to us for us to determine what we could do to fulfill those needs.
Never expected the house to burn.
Armand Thibodeau has been disabled since the late 80s. He lost his home in the Valley Fire. Since that time, he's been living in an RV on his property while we rebuild.
It feels great being able to be undercover and be able to turn around. I have room to move around and turn around.
The best part of the whole experience is seeing the smiles on the homeowner's face when they see the work that was done and they appreciate how nice their homes look.
The best thing about Hope City and our partners and the things that we get to do to celebrate somebody moving home.
I can't wait to be in my house where I can't touch the ceiling.
Welcome, everyone. We want to just thank everyone for taking the time out of their afternoon to come and join us today. It's a day of celebration.
You know, today I think that we're marking our 30th home built. And it's, when you look back at Valley Fire, and it happened in 2015, on some level that's not a huge amount of houses. On another level, that's 30 families that would not be in homes without all this assistance that comes from the community and all the individuals. And it's people that come from all over the U.S. and all over the world.
1, 2, 3.
The recovery process has been a little bit like building the plane while you're flying it. We learn the lessons along the way, and getting to see the home completed and a family move back in is kind of like finally landing that plane safely.
We feel like we come back to life, really, for really. Thanks God, thanks to you guys.
It's a community that is at a loss. And so I can't think of a better partner than the NCO to be able to work with to achieve this.
It's a miracle, is what it is.
We learned so much from our partners that work in disaster nationwide and internationally, such as the Red Cross, Catholic Charities, Hope City, that have been doing this work a lot longer than we have. And so we were able to lean on those skills and lessons that they had working on a larger scale and take what was most important to our communities and apply them for our recovery efforts.
Who would have thought that out of the disaster that we went through and the brokenness of all I have is my pajamas and I am barefoot and my car, and I can't even go shopping because I'm in my pajamas. And to go from that day to this day is amazing that we would be so blessed.
We have been hit with some of the worst fires in our nation's history. And there is one organization that we know that we could always turn to. Turn to be able to help our neighbors in need. Turn to ensure that our neighbors have the resources they need to thrive, recover, and rebuild strong.
I think the disaster response component of North Coast Opportunities actually shows their ability to adapt and to change over 50 years. They meet the need for the community, and that is, again, just shows the heart and the commitment of North Coast Opportunities.